Hello, and thank you for joining us again. Today we're going to talk about production management and configuration. So let's go ahead and take a look at our agenda. So we're going to talk about status code maintenance, department and employee maintenance, labor crew, earnings codes, and miscellaneous codes. Let's go ahead and go to status code maintenance. Back in the setup folder under production management, now we're going to look at status code maintenance. So as you do transactions for each step, you have an option of changing the status on each of the steps. And the statuses are controlled by status codes. So as you can see here, we have three that are here. We have one that's called new, and we have one that's called completed, for example, and one that's on hold. But you can add your own other statuses for each step. So as you go through, you can say step 1's been completed, step 20's been completed, step 30's been completed, those kinds of things if you wish to do so. And this is completely optional. You don't have to do this at all. But if you do this, as you enter the transactions against the work ticket step and you tell the system that step has been completed, it's very easy to look at a work ticket and see which steps are still open to have some idea where you stand on that work ticket. So now let's take a look at department and employee maintenance, labor crew maintenance, and earnings code maintenance. So let's go down to employee maintenance. So if you're not integrated with payroll, you would define your employees here. So you can set up a department and employee number just like you do in payroll, put in a first name, last name, fill in their personal information, and put in their pay rates. And once again, this rate can be the actual rate posted to the work ticket as you do labor transactions. This will never be the budgeted rate because obviously the work ticket won't know which employee is going to work on that step. So it's going to use the activity code rate, but it can use this as the actual rate. So that's the employee. Labor crews are simply a conglomeration of employees. So we have an accessory crew that's made up of Jerry A. Thomas and Alan Jenkins. So when we do our labor entries for time, instead of entering a single entry for Jerry Thomas and another entry for Alan Jenkins for the same amount of time, we can enter the time under the labor crew. It in turn will enter the time for these two employees. Saves us a little bit of work. And then lastly, we'll look at the earnings codes maintenance. So you can have earnings codes for regular time, overtime, those kinds of things, and designate what pay rate and or pay rate multiplier from the employee is going to be used for the calculation of the labor cost. So as you can see for the regular time, it's going to use the employee's pay rate 1 with a multiplier of 1. For the overtime rate, it's going to use pay rate 1 with an overtime pay rate multiplier of 1.5, so 1.5 times that rate. Lastly, I just want to have a quick look at miscellaneous codes maintenance. Back in Sage 100, we're just going to look at miscellaneous codes maintenance. We'll do a look up here and you'll see that there's only one. So we can attach documents to work tickets, and in doing so, we can assign an attachment category. This is where the attachment categories come from. So we only have the code class, and then we can list attachment categories. In future releases of production management, when we get into make to order production management, there will be additional code classes here, but for now, this is the only one. So we've gone through status code maintenance, department and labor crew, earnings codes, and then lastly, miscellaneous codes maintenance. So a lot of these are pretty simple to set up. If you're using Sage 100 payroll, you don't have to go through the department employee stuff. You can either just use the employees for payroll, or you can actually integrate with payroll, whatever you want to do there. Thank you for your time today. You can find us on YouTube, LinkedIn. Our website is www.nimsassociates.com. Please check there for additional webinars that are coming up, and you can contact us at erp@nimsassociates.com or dial 877-454-3200, extension 6346. Thank you for your attention. We really appreciate it.